The vast expanse of space had always been a source of wonder and mystery for humanity. For centuries, they had gazed up at the stars, dreaming of what lay beyond their reach. Little did they know that on a seemingly ordinary day in the year 2150, everything would change. It began with a flicker in the sky, a disturbance that caught the attention of Earth's most advanced space observation systems. At first, scientists dismissed it as an anomaly, a glitch in the machinery. But as the hours passed, the truth became undeniable. An alien fleet was approaching Earth. Panic gripped the planet as news spread. Governments scrambled to formulate a response, militaries went on high alert, and civilians huddled in their homes, glued to their screens for updates. The world held its breath, waiting for the first sign of hostility or peace. As the alien ships entered Earth's atmosphere, they defied all expectations. Instead of weapons of mass destruction, they deployed communication beacons. The message that came through was clear and concise. We come in peace. We are the Zoloxians, and we seek to establish diplomatic relations with your species. The relief was palpable, but suspicion lingered. Earth's leaders debated for days before agreeing to a face-to-face meeting with the Zoloxian representatives. When the day finally arrived, the world watched in awe as the sleek, silver spacecraft landed in a specially prepared field outside the United Nations headquarters in New York. The Zoloxians emerged, their appearance both familiar and alien. They stood on two legs and had two arms, but their skin shimmered with an iridescent quality, and their eyes were large, multifaceted orbs that seemed to take in everything at once. Their leader, Ambassador Xylith, stepped forward to greet the human delegation. "Greetings, people of Earth," Xylith's voice resonated through a translation device. "We have traveled far to meet you. Our civilization has been observing your planet for many cycles, and we believe the time has come for our species to interact." The human representatives, led by Dr. Amelia Chen, a renowned diplomat and xenobiologist, responded with cautious optimism. "Welcome to Earth, Ambassador Xylith. We are honored by your presence and eager to learn from one another." As the initial talks progressed, it became clear that the Zoloxians were not just interested in simple cultural exchange. They had a proposition that would change the course of human history. "We invite your species to join the Intergalactic Academy," Xylith announced. "It is a place where the brightest minds from across the galaxy come together to learn, grow, and prepare for the challenges that face us all in this vast universe." The offer was met with a mix of excitement and trepidation. The opportunity to learn from advanced alien civilizations was tempting, but the prospect of sending Earth's best and brightest into the unknown was daunting. Dr. Chen, ever the diplomat, saw the potential benefits. "This could be an unprecedented opportunity for humanity to advance our knowledge and understanding of the universe," she argued to her fellow leaders. "We cannot pass up this chance to secure our place among the stars." After weeks of deliberation and heated debates, a decision was reached. Earth would accept the invitation, sending a small delegation of humans to the Intergalactic Academy as a trial run. The selection process was rigorous. Candidates from all corners of the globe were tested not just for their intelligence and physical capabilities, but also for their adaptability and emotional resilience. In the end, a group of 20 humans was chosen: scientists, engineers, artists, and philosophers, representing the best humanity had to offer. Among them was Jack Harper, a brilliant young physicist with a knack for thinking outside the box. As he prepared for the journey, Jack couldn't help but feel a mix of excitement and anxiety. "We're about to embark on the greatest adventure in human history," he told his family during their tearful farewell. "I promise I'll make Earth proud." The day of departure arrived, and the chosen humans boarded the Zoloxian ship that would take them to the Academy. As Earth grew smaller in the viewport, Jack and his fellow delegates exchanged nervous glances. They were leaving behind everything they knew, venturing into a galaxy full of unknown wonders and potential dangers. Little did they know that their journey was about to take an unexpected turn. As the ship entered hyperspace, alarms blared throughout the vessel. The Zoloxian crew rushed to their stations, their usual calm demeanor replaced by obvious concern. "What's happening?" Jack asked, his heart racing. Ambassador Xylith's expression was grave. "We've received a distress signal from the Academy. It seems there's been an incident. We're diverting course to assist." As the humans exchanged worried looks, they realized that their grand adventure was about to become far more challenging than they had ever imagined. The Intergalactic Academy, their intended haven of learning and cooperation, was now a potential zone of conflict. The ship emerged from hyperspace into chaos. The space around the Academy was filled with debris and the flashing lights of emergency beacons. Other ships were converging on the scene, some to help, others with unclear intentions. "This is unprecedented," Xylith muttered, more to himself than to the humans. "The Academy has stood as a symbol of peace for millennia. Whatever has happened here could upset the balance of the entire galaxy." As they approached the massive space station that housed the Academy, the humans felt a mix of awe and fear. They had come seeking knowledge and understanding, but now found themselves thrust into the middle of an intergalactic crisis. Jack stepped forward, his scientific curiosity overcoming his apprehension. "Ambassador, how can we help?" Felith turned to the humans, his multifaceted eyes reflecting a range of emotions. "Your species is known for its adaptability and resourcefulness. Perhaps this is why the universe has brought you here at this critical moment. Are you ready to face a challenge that could define not just your future, but the future of all sentient beings in the galaxy?" The humans looked at each other, a silent understanding passing between them. They had come too far to turn back now. Whatever lay ahead, they would face it together, representing the best of humanity in this vast and unpredictable universe. As the ship docked with the Academy, Jack and his fellow delegates prepared themselves for the unknown. Their journey of discovery was about to become a trial by fire, one that would test the limits of human resilience and ingenuity in ways they could never have imagined. The airlock hissed open, and the human delegation stepped into the Intergalactic Academy for the first time. The sight that greeted them was both awe-inspiring and chaotic. The grand atrium, designed to showcase the pinnacle of galactic architecture, was now a hive of frantic activity. Beings of all shapes, sizes, and colors rushed about, their voices a cacophony of different languages. Jack Harper's scientific mind went into overdrive, trying to categorize the myriad of alien species he was encountering. There were creatures that seemed to float on air, others with multiple limbs moving in perfect coordination, and some that appeared to shift form as they moved. Ambassador Xylith ushered the humans through the crowd, heading towards what appeared to be a command center. "The Academy's High Council is convening an emergency session," he explained. "As our guests, you'll be allowed to observe. Perhaps your fresh perspective might prove useful." As they entered the council chamber, the humans were struck by the gravity of the situation. Representatives from dozens of alien civilizations sat around a massive holographic display, their faces etched with concern. The head of the council, a being of pure energy contained within a translucent shell, spoke in a voice that seemed to resonate directly in their minds. "We face an unprecedented crisis. The Void Collective, a group we long thought extinct, has resurfaced. They seek to harvest the energy of entire star systems, endangering countless lives." Murmurs of fear and anger rippled through the chamber. Jack leaned over to Dr. Elena Rodriguez, a fellow human delegate and expert in astrophysics. "The Void Collective sounds ominous." Elena nodded, her eyes wide with fascination and fear. If they're capable of harvesting stellar energy on that scale, the destruction could be catastrophic. The council head continued, "We've detected their first target, the Lyra 7 system, home to over 20 billion sentient beings. We have less than one galactic standard week to formulate a response." The chamber erupted into heated debate. Some argued for immediate military action, others for evacuation, and still others for attempting negotiations. The humans watched in silence, trying to absorb the complexity of intergalactic politics. Suddenly, Jack had an idea. He tapped on Xylith's sleeve, whispering urgently, The ambassador listened, his expression changing from skepticism to intrigue. With a nod, he raised his hand to address the council. Esteemed colleagues, Thyla's voice cut through the chaos. Our human guests have a suggestion that might merit consideration. All eyes turned to the human delegation. Jack felt a moment of panic, but steeled himself and stepped forward. On Earth we have a saying, the best defense is a good offense. What if, instead of trying to stop the Void Collective from harvesting energy, we give them more energy than they can handle? The chamber fell silent, then erupted in a mix of outrage and curiosity. Jack pressed on, explaining his theory of overloading the collective's energy harvesting systems by triggering a controlled nova in a nearby star. The debate raged for hours. The humans found themselves thrust into the heart of the discussion, their knowledge of physics and creative problem-solving put to the test. By the end of the session, a plan was forming, a dangerous, ambitious plan that would require the cooperation of multiple species. As the delegates filed out of the chamber, Jack and his fellow humans were approached by a group of alien students. Their leader, a tall insectoid being named Zixta, clicked its mandibles in what seemed to be amusement. "So, you're the primitives from Earth," Zixta's translator buzzed. "We've heard about your planet. A death world, isn't it? How quaint that you think you can contribute to galactic-level problems." Elena stepped forward, her eyes flashing. "We may be new to the galactic stage, but we've faced our share of challenges. Don't underestimate Earth." Zixta's compound eyes glittered. "Big words. Care to back them up? We're holding combat simulations in the Holo Arena. Why don't you join us? Unless, of course, you're afraid." The humans exchanged glances. They hadn't come here for conflict, but they also couldn't back down from his challenge. Jack nodded. "We'll be there." The Holo Arena was a massive chamber capable of generating hyper-realistic simulations for training purposes. As the humans entered, they found themselves facing a team of alien students, each representing a different species renowned for their combat prowess. "The rules are simple," Zixta explained. "Last team standing wins. The arena will generate random environments and challenges. Good luck. You'll need it." The simulation began, and the humans found themselves in a dense alien jungle. Strange creatures lurked in the shadows, and the air was thick with spores that played havoc with their senses. At first, the alien team seemed to have the upper hand. They were stronger, faster, and more familiar with the types of environments the arena was generating. But as the simulation progressed, the humans began to show their worth. Jack used his knowledge of physics to predict and manipulate the changing environments. Elena's quick thinking saved the team from a surprise ambush. And Maya Chen, a martial arts expert, proved that human combat techniques could be surprisingly effective against alien physiologies. Hours passed, and the simulation grew more intense. Both teams were worn down, but the humans' endurance, honed on their high-gravity world, began to give them an edge. In the final moments, it came down to Jack and Zixta, facing off in a crater of a simulated volcanic world. Zixta lunged, its powerful limbs propelling it through the air. But Jack, remembering his high school physics, used the lower gravity to his advantage. He leaped, twisting in midair, and managed to tag Zixta with the simulation's equivalent of a fatal blow. The arena fell silent as the simulation ended. The alien students stared at the humans in disbelief. Zixta approached Jack, its posture now one of respect. "Perhaps we underestimated you, Earthling. Your species has potential." As word of the humans' performance spread through the academy, attitudes began to shift. The initial skepticism gave way to curiosity and, in some cases, admiration. The human delegates found themselves bombarded with questions about Earth, its history, and its cultures. But there was little time to bask in their newfound respect. The crisis with the Void Collective loomed, and the humans were now integral to the plan to stop them. As they threw themselves into the preparations, working alongside beings from across the galaxy, Jack couldn't help but feel a sense of pride. They had come to the academy as students, eager to learn from advanced civilizations. But in facing these trials and tribulations, they had also become teachers, showing the galaxy the unique strengths of humanity. As the deadline for the Void Collective's attack approached, tension filled the Academy. The plan was risky, relying on split-second timing and the coordination of multiple species. And at its heart were the humans, their wild idea now the galaxy's best hope for salvation. Jack looked out at the starfield visible through the Academy's massive viewports. Somewhere out there, Earth continued its lonely orbit, unaware of the cosmic drama unfolding. He made a silent promise to his home planet. Whatever challenges lay ahead, humanity would face them with courage, creativity, and an unwavering spirit of exploration. The final countdown had begun. The ultimate test of human resilience in the face of cosmic threats was about to unfold. The ultimate test. The tension in the Academy's command center was palpable as the final hours ticked away. Representatives from a dozen different species huddled around holographic displays, making last-minute adjustments to their audacious plan. At the heart of it all stood the human delegation, their faces a mix of determination and barely concealed anxiety. Jack Harper wiped sweat from his brow as he double-checked the calculations for the Nova Trigger. The device they had cobbled together from various alien technologies was a marvel of cross-species cooperation, but it was also largely untested. If it failed, billions of lives would be lost. "You seem troubled, young one," came a melodious voice. Jack turned to see Cathax, a member of an ancient, energy-based species known as the Luminary. The being's form shimmered and pulsed with an inner light. "Your plan is bold, perhaps even reckless, yet I sense great conviction in you." Jack managed a weak smile. "On Earth, we have a saying, 'With great risk comes great reward.' I just hope we're not being too greedy with our reward today." Cathax's light pulsed in what Jack had come to recognize as laughter. "You humans are fascinating creatures, so young, yet so willing to shoulder the burdens of the cosmos. Perhaps that is why the universe has placed you here at this crucial moment." Before Jack could respond, alarms blared throughout the command center. A massive hologram sprang to life, showing the Lyra 7 system. A swarm of pitch-black ships was emerging from subspace, their forms seeming to absorb the very light around them. "The Void Collective," Ambassador Xylith announced, his usual calm demeanor cracking slightly. "They're earlier than we anticipated. We need to move now." The plan sprang into action. A fleet of ships from various allied species moved to intercept the Void Collective, not to defeat them, but to slow them down and draw their attention. Meanwhile, a smaller, faster ship carrying the Nova Trigger and a skeleton crew began its approach to Lyra 7's sun. Jack and Elena found themselves on this ship, along with Cathax and a handful of other alien specialists. As they approached Lyra 7's sun, the vastness of space seemed to close in around them, a stark reminder of the cosmic stakes they faced. Approaching optimal position, announced the ship's pilot, a squid-like being named Zixtlaw. "Prepare for solar shielding." The ship's viewports darkened as advanced energy fields sprang to life, protecting them from the sun's intense radiation. Jack and Elena exchanged a nervous glance before turning their attention to the Nova Trigger device. "Remember," Jack said, his voice steady despite his racing heart, "we need to calibrate the trigger to the exact resonant frequency of this star's core. One miscalculation, and we either fail to ignite the nova or cause a supernova that would destroy the entire system." Elena nodded, her fingers flying over the alien controls. "I've got it. Inputting the final calculations now." Suddenly, the ship rocked violently. Alarms blared as Zixlaw's tentacles danced across the control panel. "We've been detected. 2 Void Collective ships are on an intercept course." Thax's form pulsed with urgency. "We must buy time. I will attempt to communicate with them, to distract them." Before anyone could object, Cathax's energy form phased through the ship's hull, emerging into the vacuum of space. The Luminary's body expanded, becoming a dazzling display of light and color that stretched for kilometers. By the stars, Elena whispered, awestruck by the sight. Jack shook himself out of his momentary trance. We can't waste this chance. Elena, finish the calibration. I'll handle the deployment. As Kerfax engaged in some form of energy-based communication with the approaching void ships, Jack and Elena raced against time. The Nova trigger, a sleek device that seemed to bend light around it, hummed to life. Calibration complete, Elena announced. Deploying now, Jack replied, his finger hovering over the launch control. Just then, a beam of dark energy lanced out from one of the void ships, striking Kerfax. The luminary's form flickered and contorted in what could only be described as agony. Kerfax, Jack cried out, his finger frozen above the launch button. Do not hesitate, Kerfax's voice echoed in their minds, strained but resolute. The fate of billions rests in your hands. With a heavy heart, Jack pressed the button. The Nova trigger shot out from their ship, a tiny speck against the backdrop of the massive star. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, the sun began to pulse, its surface roiling with unprecedented activity. The Void Collective ships, realizing the danger too late, attempted to retreat, but the Nova explosion expanded faster than they could escape, engulfing them in a brilliant flash of light and energy. The shockwave hit their ship with tremendous force. Zixlaw's piloting skills were pushed to the limit as they rode the wave of stellar energy, their shields barely holding. As the light faded and their sensors came back online, the view that greeted them left everyone speechless. Where the Void Collective fleet had been, there was now only scattered debris. The Lyra 7 system was safe, its billions of inhabitants unaware of how close they had come to annihilation. But the victory came at a cost. Kerfax was nowhere to be seen, presumably lost in the Nova explosion. As they made their way back to the Academy, a somber mood fell over the ship. They had succeeded in their mission, but the weight of Kerfax's sacrifice hung heavy on their hearts. Upon their return, they were greeted as heroes. The Academy was abuzz with news of their success, and delegations from across the galaxy were arriving to express their gratitude and admiration. In a grand ceremony, the human delegates were honored for their crucial role in saving the Lyra 7 system. Ambassador Xylith stepped forward, his multifaceted eyes gleaming with what could only be described as pride. Today, we have witnessed the true potential of humanity, Xylith announced to the assembled galactic representatives. In the face of an unprecedented threat, they showed us the power of innovative thinking, unwavering courage, and the willingness to risk everything for the greater good. Jack stepped forward, accepting a ceremonial token of gratitude on behalf of Earth. As he looked out at the sea of alien faces, he felt a profound sense of both accomplishment and humility. "We came here to learn," Jack began, his voice carrying across the silent chamber, "and we have learned more than we ever imagined possible. But we've also had the chance to show you what humanity can offer to this grand galactic community." He paused, thinking of Kerfax and the sacrifice made to ensure their success. "We've seen that the universe is vast and full of wonders, but also dangers beyond our wildest dreams. Earth may be young in the grand scheme of things, but we are ready to take our place among the stars, to face whatever challenges lie ahead, and to work together for the betterment of all sentient life." As applause erupted from the assembled beings, Jack couldn't help but smile. This was just the beginning. Humanity had proven itself on the galactic stage, and the future was bright with possibilities. In the days that followed, preparations began for the human delegates to return to Earth. They carried with them not just advanced knowledge and technology, but a new perspective on their place in the universe. As their ship prepared to depart, Jack took one last look at the Academy, now a symbol of both incredible learning and hard-won victory. He thought of Kerfax, of the friends they had made, and of the challenges they had overcome. Earth was waiting, eager to hear of their adventures and to take its first steps into a larger world. And Jack knew that whatever the future held, humanity was ready to face it, with curiosity, courage, and the unbreakable spirit that had carried them to the stars. As the ship entered hyperspace, carrying them back to their home planet, Jack felt a sense of excitement building within him. This wasn't an end, but a beginning. Humanity's greatest adventure was just getting started.